What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sport Your Enthusiasm podcast, the weekly podcast about all your favorite sports, topics, and events. I am your humble host, Bryce Benjamin. Unfortunately, today, my co-host Ed Jesse was not able to make it. Of course, I had to take care of some bills. Got to work, so got to pay them bills. But fortunately, I was able to have a guest today. And he's been on the show before. I'm pretty sure you've heard him if you heard us talk about any UFC or boxing events. But my cousin, Marques Estell, is back in the house. What's going on, Marky?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me, too.
Appreciate you coming back on the show, man.
Definitely.
So, yeah, you know, UFC 235 coming up tomorrow. And you know I had to bring you back on the show to talk about it.
You already know. Let's go.
So as everybody, if you're listening to this episode right now, you can kind of see that this show is going to be on the UFC event tomorrow, on Saturday the 2nd, UFC 235. And, you know, we're going to go through each fight of the main card, give our thoughts and opinions about it, break it down a little bit, and, pick our winners, give our predictions. But before we get into the show, I just started doing a new segment on this show. I started it last week with my man Nick Scapolato. Shout out to my man Nick. And Marky, I know I had you on the show previously, but I want to give you an opportunity. So for the people out there, I want you to go ahead and let them know your fanhood.
All right. Yeah, my fanhood is starting off, I'm a New York Giants fan. I like the San Francisco for baseball. What can I say? Boxing and UFC is probably like my real passion, you know, as far as sports. Like I follow boxing and UFC, like that's my natural. Like people watch basketball or, you know, football. That's how I watch, you know, boxing and UFC. So with that being said, my favorite boxing fighter right now is probably Errol Spence Jr., middleweight, fighting at around 160, you know. And my UFC favorite fighter is actually fighting on this UFC 235 card is Tyron Woodley, and we're gonna talk a little more about that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And as far as basketball, I'm a Houston Rockets fan, and I used to be a Magic fan, but when I always was a Tracy McGrady fan. Once Tracy McGrady went to Houston. Yeah. Where did he go from Houston to from Rockets? From Raptors.
He went from Toronto to Orlando to Houston.
Right.
And then, you know, once his career kind of dwindled down, kind of became like one of those players that just jumped team to team for a while.
Okay, yeah. So that's not who I'm talking about. Well, I'm talking about Penny Hardaway. That's what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
Penny Hardaway was my favorite, and when he left, then I switched up. You know.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I was a T-Mac fan, but now I'm a Rockets fan ever since, you know, T-Mac left, and I'll probably be a Rockets fan from here on out. No more switching.
I respect it.
Because I was an Orlando's fan at one point. Gotta admit it now.
All right, that's what's up, man. Speaking of Errol Spence, before we dive into the show, he got a fight coming up later on this month, don't he?
Yeah, definitely. He got a fight against Mikey Garcia, which surprised me for this weight class. Mikey Garcia was fighting pretty light, 135, moved up to 145, and then he had one big fight. I can't think of who he fought though. It was at like 150 or something, and now he want to fight Errol Spence. And that's a big jump. Yeah, Errol Spence a big boy.
They're both undefeated, right?
Yeah, both undefeated fighters. He got the middleweight belt as of now, Spence, and he got that from Kell Brook, and nobody been wanting to see him ever since.
Yeah, I remember
to unify the other belts or nothing. But yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think Mikey gonna impress people, like show his heart in this fight. But I think overall, my boy gonna get it done in this one.
Yeah, I like Errol Spence. I think I don't see anything stopping him. I don't see anything stopping the eventual super fight up between him and Terrence Crawford. That's the main one I'm looking forward to.
I gave out my prediction early, but you're gonna have to get me back on the show probably for that fight.
Oh yeah, you already know. Yeah, anytime we talking some big super fights and things like that, I'm definitely gonna try to have some good minds on the show that I usually talk about it. All right, so you went on a little tangent, but whatever. Let's go ahead and dive into the event. So We're going to just pretty much stick to the main card. I know it's like a big card with the prelims and the early prelims, but we're just going to stick with the main 5 fights of the main card. The first of which, let's go ahead and just start from the bottom and work our way up to the main event. So the first fight is going to be a male's bantamweight fight between Cody Garbrandt and Pedro Munoz. Yeah, I think I'm butchering his name.
Right.
My man Pedro. So I'm gonna let you lead this way on this one. We was just watching a few highlights on Pedro. We watched him finish somebody off.
Hey.
I'm looking at the numbers right now. So Cody's last fight, he lost. He's currently sitting at 11-2. And Pedro's last fight, we've seen what he did. He finished the guy off in TKO fashion. And he's sitting at 17-3 with 1 no contest. So looking at their win by percentage, and from what I can look at, Cody is a finisher. He wins 82% of his fights by knockout. Pedro, on the other hand, looks like he's more of a technician submission type of guy, winning 47% of his fights by submission. So let's just talk about it. What are you thinking about this fight?
Yeah, in this fight, Cody is coming off of actually a 2 loss to TJ Dillashaw. He lost to him twice back to back. Before that, he was undefeated and had a real good hype. He won that UFC tough enough show, whatever. He did that, passed that, and he's been looking spectacular until they had this feud with TJ Dillashaw. But other than that, like Cody, he's good. And actually, I think this is more so of a fight to really see where he at, because this third loss will be huge. And he's actually going up against a good opponent. I think Pedro is a little more experienced in the ring, but I think TJ Dillashaw overall got more talent, So I think TJ Dillashaw will get the job done.
Cody
Garbrandt will get the job done, excuse me. But Pedro he more of a technician fighter as far as better submission, as we can see with his numbers. But like I said, Cody Garbrandt is more young and hungry, coming off a 2-loss fight. Cody Garbrandt should get the job done.
Okay, I know. Like I said, I can't speak too much on this fight because I've never really watched any of these two. Just looking at the percentages, and you're saying Cody, he's fighting the best of the best. You say he just fought TJ Dillashaw. Those are only 2 losses, and Dillashaw is, and his division is elite. So if I had, I guess I would roll. I'm gonna lean on your expertise, and I would roll with Cody. I don't know. It's just something about those submission fighters, man. Like, them motherfuckers is tricky. No, like they be getting their ass whooped the whole fight, or they might get stunned, and then the person, the aggressor would be rushing in to try to finish him off, and then all of a sudden they're caught in the armbar.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, this is one of those, like, it can catch you off guard. Don't sleep. Like, Pedro can get the job done. And that's why this is the ultimate test for Cody, because before his 2 losses to TJ Dillashaw, before those 2 losses, he actually was like taking people out in amazing fashion. That's what got him those 2 title shots.
82% knockout percentage. I can see.
He was getting at people. He got quick hands, quick feet, and he's explosive.
What is his style? Is he? I'm assuming he's a striker.
Yeah, I would say, I'm not sure what he's like officially classified as, but I say he's more so of a striker first and foremost. I don't see him trying to go on the ground too much. I'm not sure about his wrestling background or nothing like that. But yeah, he a striker for sure.
I got you.
Because he going for the knockout, or he like he showed in his last fight, he's looking to knock you out, or he's getting knocked out. Obviously, he's putting it all on the line.
Got you.
Okay. Every time. Yeah.
All right. So in this fight here, would it be right to assume that the winner would probably be next in line for maybe a title shot? Or do you think there's like another opponent in that division where?
Nah, yeah, I don't think this. Yeah, neither one of these guys is close to a title shot. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if Pedro is ranked anywhere in the top 10. Like I said, this is more so just a tune-up fight for Garbrandt to see where he at. Fight a nice veteran in the game. Pedro got 17 fights in the. I'm pretty sure it's probably all in the UFC.
Who's the champion right now for?
He got 17 fights and 3 losses. The champion for who?
For the bantamweight. Who's the champ right now?
TJ Dillashaw.
Dillashaw. Yeah.
TJ Dillashaw just fought
Cejudo.
Cejudo,
yeah.
Yeah. Henry Cejudo. But that was just for the other belt.
That was for the flyweight.
Light belt. Yeah,
that was for the flyweight belt. And TJ got TKO'd.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then so
they both champs still though. Yeah.
So Dillashaw, he moved down to fight Cejudo.
Yep.
And then let's talk about Cejudo moving up to fight Dillashaw.
They're gonna do it vice versa. So Cejudo will get his chance to be a champ. Okay. So that was set up for Dillashaw, you know.
Yeah.
Dillashaw, you know, he moved down to his weight class so he can become champ. But he failed. Got cleaned up.
Yeah,
he was in over his
head. I don't think we talked
that.
about that fight. Just go off on a side note real quick. Did you think that fight was stopped early?
No, I thought it was perfect stoppage. He was out of it, man. He was applying that pressure to him. But I think, and we'll talk about it a little more with this this UFC fight coming up. I wanted to touch on it about people cutting weight and stuff. I think when he went down and cut that weight, I think it played a little factor to like what was going on with his situation, like how people be saying like you're not as strong and you know you're a little more angrier when you cut a little more weight and all that. So I think it played a factor to him, and he was a little in over his head and got cleaned up.
I got you.
And Cejudo is no joke, man. He was on the Olympics with Ben Akrens, who's on this card coming up, UFC 235, and we'll talk about that.
Right. Okay.
And they was on the same Olympics.
All right, so here, let's get a prediction then for the first fight. Cody Garbrandt and Pedro Munoz. Who you got?
All right, final prediction. I got Cody Garbrandt, and, you know, he's looking to make a real push for that title again. So I'll probably put it on Cody. He got this one. I'm not saying it's going to be easy either. I'm pretty sure to go all 5 rounds.
4. There'll be 3 rounds of this one.
I mean 3 rounds. All 3 rounds. Not a championship fight. All 3 rounds. And, you know, like I said, good tune-up fight for him. Definitely.
How do you think he's going to do it? Knockout? TKO? No, you just said it. You say he's going to go all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So
I think, but I do think we're going to see. I think it's going to be exciting. Put it like that. Decision. Go to the cards, but I think it's going to be real exciting. We're going to see.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to roll with Pedro. I think he's going to, I could see, you know, Cody got TKO by Dillashaw his last fight. Got stopped, I should say. I can see Pedro sneaking in a submission and finishing him off. I could see him getting in, like, you know, some type of getting pressed against the cage or something like that and pulling something out. I'm probably going to be wrong, but fuck it. Why not? Yeah. Give me Pedro. I'm going to pick Pedro by submission. 2nd round finish. All right. So moving on to the next fight, we got the ladies. Looks like we have Tisha Torres versus Zhang Weili. Her first name is Weili Zhang, but they pronounce it Zhang Weili. So we was just watching some fight clips on Weili.
Yeah.
And Weilei's 18-1. Tisha Torres 10-3. If I had to make an assumption, I'm assuming Weili is the favorite in this fight. And from what I was watching, she is punches and bunches. Mm-hmm. It looks like she gets her opponents hurt.